ФосАgro is a phosphate-based resource company. It's a mining company inside the fertilizer space. So basically the products provide feedstock for growing food, which of course is a tremendously important task in the world today. So very solidly based in the food chain. At the same time, in the manufacturing and the Russian economy, ФосАgro is an important player. So I think that phosphate-based, chemically based, producing fertilizers to feed the world.
The uniqueness of ФосАgro actually is that we do not have any specific market, because we can compete on all markets globally. And we have the flexible production lines, which allows us to produce all sorts of the fertilizers at the same production line. Therefore, we are very flexible in production, we are flexible in sales, and thus we can sell and deliver our fertilizers all over the places, and therefore our market share is a global market actually.
ФосAgro's uniqueness, in my mind, comes from three main factors. One is the access to a high-quality, low-cost phosphate rock, which is a raw material much in demand and which is scarce by the nature of the fact that this is only found in a few places in the world. Secondly, I think ФосAgro's access to large-scale, efficient Russian upgrading facilities at Cherpovets and at Balaclava are very, very important aspects. Finally, I think ФосAgro's global footprint, which has been established over, let's say, a 20-year period now, is very important. Of course, ФосAgro is present in all regions in the world, meaning that the company is not dependent on any single market. If one market fails one year, you always have another one that is thriving. So this is a diversified and to a certain extent, a risk-reducing asset for ФосAgro. It's big market network.
All our phosphate resources are located above the polar cycle, and this of course gives us some hard time, but on the contrary, we receive the purest resource in the world, because the level of impurities is much lower than our peers have. We do control 2.1 billion tons of the phosphate ore in resources. So these vast resources gives us an opportunity to mine for the next 75 years at the current pace.
Most of this is today integrated downstream in chemical production in Russia at Balaclava and at Cherpovets. This has been a deliberate strategy for many years to try to extract more value out of the phosphate rock by mixing it with other nutrients and by upgrading the products for domestic and export markets. Kirovsk remains the core of ФосAgro, but Cherpovets and Balaclava provides the upgrading and the natural added value to ФосAgro's products.
80% of the cash cost of the DEP, which is the major phosphate fertilizer, relates to just three feedstock, which is phosphate rock, ammonia and sulfur. And therefore, the higher level of vertical integration for you, the more competitive you are. And for us, we benefit from a very high level of vertical integration. In the phosphate rock, we're 100% self-sufficient. In ammonia, we're 94% self-sufficient, and we have very diversified sources of the supply of the sulfur, which also gives us a very good competitive advantage.
So ФосAgro, I think, is very well placed to take advantage of the mega trends in agriculture, where the world needs more food, a growing population, a more affluent population spends more money on food, and I think ФосAgro is very well placed to capitalize on this trend going forward.
The key strength of the company is that we never put our hands, we never give up. Yeah. We always go up till the end until we realize the strategy what we adopted and receive the results. We believe that everything can be done with the right people.
And very importantly for ФосAgro today is a very solid financial background in terms of both reporting, accounting, communications with markets. These of course are vital for the company going forward, and I think we are very well served with the present management under the very able leadership of Mr. Maxim Folko.